What's up, you guys? You guys are watching Timpin Salone. My name is Justin Fomba. Follow me on YouTube under the name Justin Fomba. You can also find my podcast. The name of the podcast is the Justin Fomba Podcast. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Justin_Fomba. See you guys soon and enjoy this episode.
What up? Good morning, people.
This is the Vaugiotto broadcast show.
Timpin Salone. We're back at it again with another installment of your favorite show, Timpin Salone. You already know who it is. It's your boy, Wilver. Along with me, we got none other than Drew Biscay, Aaron Williams.
What's up, everybody?
Q Echelon Carter.
What up?
And we have a very special guest, and I'm going to toss it to Drew real quick to make that introduction.
Yep. So we got a very special guest today for this episode of Timpin Salone. One of the day one followers, one of the day one subscribers, one of the day one watchers of Timpin Salone. We got my good friend here, Justin Fomba.
Hey.
Yeah, buddy.
Glad to be here. Glad to see you guys. It's a blessing. It's a privilege. And yeah, I've been following you guys, watching Drew, everybody hustle. And I just respect what you guys been doing. And I feel very honored just to be a part of it. So I appreciate this, man. Appreciate it so much.
We appreciate the love. We appreciate the support. You know, we love everybody. Every one of our followers, every one of our fans. We're all one big Vaugiotto family. You already know that. So let's get it started. It's already back to school season. You know, the summer is coming to an end. We got elementary, middle, high school, even colleges. Everybody's going back. And there's also rises in Delta cases. You already know there's some stuff going on with COVID. You know, that it's nothing new, but still, we're still dealing with it. So a question for y'all. If y'all had kids, right? We're grown men here soon. We're going to all have families at some point. If we had kids right now, would you send them back? How do you feel about it? What kind of precautions would you take as a parent? Who wants to start it off?
Let the guest start it off first.
Facts. Okay. I'll start it, but I gotta kick a question to Drew because Drew's kind of like the subject expert. You know, I gotta ask you, Drew. So how at risk, or what is the risk of kids catching COVID? Like we talk about, on the news, I hear about all the time. Adults catching it, maybe elderly people and stuff. But what does it look like for kids catching COVID? I never even heard about stats like that.
Mm-hmm. So it's basically the same amount of risk as anybody, adult or kid. So I guess the main thing is just how your body will react to if you get exposed. It can really be hard, especially now with the Delta variant, because I forget what the stat is, but it might be like, I forget how many times more infectious it is to where like it spreads more easy. So that's the hard thing. And depending on how old that kid is, if they're under 12, then they won't have the chance to get vaccinated. So they won't have that extra layer of possible protection if they do catch it. So it's basically just the same amount of a chance as an adult can get it.
So if you're under 12, you can't get vaccinated?
Yeah, like as of right now, only people ages 12 and up can get vaccinated.
Wow. Okay. I think that's the answer right there, right? So if I have kids and they're under the age of 12 and I don't feel comfortable either, giving them the vaccine or they're just not eligible for it, I'll be suspect. I'll be very suspicious about putting my kids in school with other kids. You don't know if their parents are like international, business people. Maybe they travel a lot, because if they get the vaccine, if they don't get the vaccine, then, there's a possibility that in their homes they can get it and then spread it when they come to school. I think it was this news report I was looking at. They were like, the news report said the school district, or maybe it was one school, had to close down basically school this first week, because this was like the first week of school. I think it was in North Carolina. They had to close down the whole school because the first week of school, people were catching COVID. And I feel like in some way they should have known, maybe they were hoping for the best, but it's the reality. So social distancing, isolation, me personally, I'll take my kids and have homeschool lessons. That's what I would do.
And then the tough thing is, like with some states like Texas and Florida, they're like really fighting like a mask mandate where they don't want to have it forced to where like everybody at school has to wear a mask. And that's going to be real troublesome, especially for like if there's at-risk kids or like even teachers, they could possibly bring it to their homes. And then it's just been like a whole mess these last couple of weeks. And they're trying to like threaten like removing school funding if they have a mask mandate. So they're really just trying to fight just to not have a mask, which is pretty stupid.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, look, we're grown here, all of us. You see me, I'm still taking my precautions. I mean, hey, you never know. I don't want to be that guy that spreads it to other people. Like it doesn't hurt me wearing a mask. I just throw it on. I'm out. When I get home, just take it off. I don't complain too much. There's a lot worse. There's a lot more things for me to complain about in life than wearing a mask. So honestly,
about
vaccinations. I'll tell you this. Everybody's complaining about these vaccination shots, right? And they were so stubborn to get just one. And now we're getting in the news talking about a booster shot. Right? So like, just imagine more people are going to be off-put by the fact that we're pushing so hard for these 1 or 2 vaccinations. And then on top of that, sorry, this isn't good enough. We need to give you another shot on top of that. I'm telling you, it's just pushing people away. Like the rollout of these vaccinations wasn't the best, because now you're really making people more reluctant. And people are gonna start thinking, man, if the vaccination didn't work before, is this booster shot even worth it? Like, is it just another excuse? And then it's like, all right, are we gonna have to keep getting these vaccinations for the rest of our lives or X amount of years? And if you think about, I was having this conversation the other day with a friend of mine, and it's like, if I was a father, right, and our kids are growing up, they have to have a series of vaccinations. There are parenting styles where, they don't want their kids vaccinated, and then others that do. And I was just thinking, like, would I want my kid, assuming that the government is going to reduce the age of vaccinations to like where kids could get them at 8 or 6 or 5 or, would I want my kids getting COVID vaccine booster shots, right? I don't know. I don't know if I necessarily would want my kid to get these booster shots if that was the case, But yeah, I mean, I would also be suspect with my kids sending them to school if I had to. I would, of course, make sure that they have multiple masks on them, in case, one rips, whatever, they got a backup. Always have hand sanitizer on them because, kids, they put their hands everywhere. They don't wash their hands as often. They're not as precautious. But yeah, how do you feel about that, Q? How do you feel about the vaccine shots?
I mean, wait, no, Jabisky. So even if you get the vaccine, you can still can't you still get COVID, right?
Yeah. So basically with the vaccine, it will reduce your possible symptoms. So say, for example, it could be to like the point where you might have to go to the hospital. Like with the vaccine, you might just feel like a slight cold, different symptoms like that. So it will reduce your possible symptoms, but you still have a chance of catching it.
Damn if you do, damn if you don't, I mean, I'm never going to tell somebody what they need to do with their body, but, I mean, I mean, I understand both sides. I understand some people saying they don't want to get the vaccine. You know, I understand people saying they do need to get the vaccine. You know, I'm not trying to tell nobody what they need to do with their body. You know, I just think everybody needs to have all the information possible to make a decision. So if you want to take the vaccine, just have all the information except all the consequences that come with taking the vaccine, positive or worse, you know? So what y'all think about, you know, a lot of these companies forcing a lot of these, you know, employees to take the vaccine? Y'all think that's right?
Ooh, that's a real big topic. It's actually St. John's Law School. A friend of mine, he got into the school and the parents don't want him to take the vaccine. You know, everybody has their personal decision. But
Sure.
St. John's Law School is saying, if you don't get the vaccine, you won't be able to start this semester. And they're not doing, you know, the semester from home. Maybe they are for some classes, maybe they aren't for the other ones. But it's just crazy because, you know, if you're an adult and you don't want to take the vaccine, they're going to not allow you to enroll in school, not allow you to, you know, complete your studies unless you get the vaccine. It's crazy because a lot of other, you know, businesses and companies and organizations are doing that. And it's crazy because I see where it could go. You know, I see where it can go where it's like the vaccine is kind of like your entry card. Or if you don't have the vaccine, it's a way that you kind of be, I don't want to say discriminated against, but you can kind of see like maybe, you know, a gap growing between people that are vaccinated and people that aren't vaccinated. That's something that could come out of it. And that's why I'm like, I don't know about mandating people to have a vaccine. I don't know if that's constitutional even. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're
No, for sure.
Oh, you go ahead, Wilbur.
No, I'll let you take it and then I'll say my part.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're seeing it a lot more. I think even in New York, a lot of indoor places are now going to require you to have a vaccine or to be vaccinated in order to even be in that place. So I think we're going to see a lot of that now, especially like you were saying with schools and with businesses. And I think my thing is, I guess it is each individual person's choice whether they want to get vaccinated or not. But on the, I guess on the other side with the business or school, they're trying to lower the risk as much as possible for the spread and how deadly it can be. So I guess even if it does happen with a person that's vaccinated, there's going to be less of a chance that they're really going to, it's not going to be as bad as it could have been. It's not going to be as deadly. So I see where the schools and the businesses standpoints are in terms of like mandating it just to keep everybody safe. And I think actually with the vaccine, the chance of spread possibly gets reduced, but there's still always that possibility. So I can see how it's a beneficial for like a business or a school just to have everybody vaccinated. So then, you know, you're taking all the precautions and you're providing the safest environment possible. Sure, things are going to happen, but at least you're taking those precautions. But on the other end, you don't want to have to force people to make a decision that's going to ultimately affect their livelihood and how they live their lives.
Is it legal to deny somebody services if you're a public, you know, if you serve the public, if you're a business, is it legal to deny them like your services if they have a medical preference or, you know, a medical condition or a medical inclination? Like, can you deny somebody services? I don't know about that. Is that like legal?
I've seen stores in my location. You know, full disclosure, we are all in undisclosed locations, of course. You know, we're all more than 6 feet apart, by the way. We don't want to hear nothing nothing in the comments. But I have seen a lot of signs on stores that do say that if you don't have a mask, you're not allowed entry. And honestly, I feel like that would be the same thing. It would also apply to people with vaccinations, that if you're not vaccinated, that they could deny.
I think you can, for example, if you go to a McDonald's, right? They say if you don't have shoes and you don't have a shirt, you will not, you know, receive service. I think that makes sense because you can't go to certain country clubs if you don't have a collared shirt. That makes sense. I understand that. Yeah. If you're going to deny some of these services based off of a medical choice that they made, first of all, I don't know, but first of all, you would have to get them to disclose their medical status to you, and that's against HIPAA laws. I don't know if you can do that. I don't know. What do you think, Drew? What do you think?
So HIPAA, that's the thing. It's kind of been confusing for people over the last couple of months with HIPAA. HIPAA is more if you're a medical official or a health officer talking to a third party. So like if I know like your medical status, I can't go and tell another person or another entity about your medical status if you're a health official. So basically the main thing I think that they're trying to do is trying to keep it as safe as possible, since it is a public health matter. And since it's been like so deadly and dangerous, all of like the rise in cases and people, a decision you make going somewhere could ultimately like affect somebody's life in terms of like life or death for them. Possibly it could be that in like the worst way. So I think that's why they're trying to make these mandates.
Yeah, and you know, speaking of like, so if, oh my God.
Come on, bro. Keep rolling, bro. You got it, bro. Keep rolling. Keep rolling. Good.
No, it was just one of those, there's something specific you said, like carrying around, like if you had your medical records on you, you know, if you had to like show proof of any conditions or vaccinations, you know, having your ID card on you. I started thinking of a past question that we had, and it was about it was talking about you know, relationships nowadays, and you know, talking to somebody new. It was a past statement, and I believe it was Q Echelon Carter that said if he was to approach a female, you know, he would ask for a phone number as well as any medical records, you know, just to make sure.
Off top. I be saying a lot of stuff. It be going over your head, bro. It be going over your head, but I be really speaking facts, bro. I be telling you, bro. You know, but I mean, that's just factual information now, because you can't really just. I feel like now with COVID, the worst thing about COVID, I feel like it divided everybody. So with social media, kind of brought everything together. With COVID, it kind of divided everybody. You know, so that's probably the worst thing about COVID. But yeah, I think like the public health issue with COVID trumps like the individual rights. So like, for example, let's say we have a Vaugiotto store right now, right? Are we going to require them to wear a mask to come inside? Or what y'all thinking? Or should we require them to be vaccinated?
I honestly think more than ever, this is the most we've ever had to put faith in people in general, like just like in the world, like we've had to put more faith in other people and hope that they're doing the right thing, that they're thinking of others, not just themselves, and doing things for the greater good. So like I would require a mask, you know, just so you make everybody around you comfortable. You want to make a safe environment for everybody, but also a comfortable environment for everybody. So, you know, if you walk into the store, I would say, please wear a mask, and you know, try and keep as much social distance apart as possible if you can. You know, offer the hand sanitizer, of course, you know, if you touch things, and yeah. But I wouldn't ask for like a vaccination card or proof of vaccination at the door or anything like that. You know.
I completely agree. I think because here's the thing: when you tell somebody to, you know, inject themselves, or, you know, to receive an injection, with anything, you know, whether you think it's bad or you think it's not, that's a person's decision that they have to live with. But say they just want to go to the store for a resource or something that they need temporarily, right? You're asking them to make a lifetime decision for temporary needs, and that's coercion. I don't think that's moral. For whatever reason, you know, if a person does not want to get the vaccine, you know, I don't think it's moral to force them to get the vaccine. On the other hand, if you own a business, right, and you want to make sure that at that business your employees are safe, that you are safe, then I think you can make you can enforce you know, certain statutes, certain things to make sure that you are safe and you can be safe from this virus without forcing someone to get a vaccine, making sure that they use hand sanitizer, making sure that they're social distancing, making sure that everybody has a specific mask. Maybe you as a business owner want to make sure that everybody has a specific type of mask. So you get the N95s and you pass them around before they even come inside, right? There's this picture, it's right in front of the subway. And they said people are, I don't want to bring the percentages, but there's a low exchange rate of bodily fluids when people, one, don't speak, and two, when they have a mask on their face. And especially if it's the right type of mask, especially when you're using hand sanitizer. I think those are legitimate ways. But to deny someone services and to coerce them to get like a vaccine, I don't think that's all the way moral. I mean, if you could do it with COVID, then what's stopping someone from doing it for maybe somebody's healthcare status? So say healthcare status. So say, we got to make sure you don't have any venereal diseases before you use this bathroom, right? So you need to make sure that you have a specific card that verifies. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I think it has to be thought through, but I think the vaccine is not the end all be all for public health. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you got to at least have a mask mandate. That's kind of like meeting in the middle. It's not going to force people. You have to be vaccinated to get in, but it's not going to be too lax where you're worried about like exposures all the time. At least having a mask, they're able to lower the chances of spread among the people. Say, for example, like you were saying, in a store, lowering the chances of people spreading to others. So at least kind of meeting in the middle where you have a mask mandate, where you're looking out for others, but not forcing people to get the vaccine. Because I guess at the end of the day, it really is your ultimate choice. The vaccine is more individual decision that could help lower your symptoms if you do catch COVID. And so with the public health standpoint, in terms of caring for others, really the main thing is having a mask to where you can stop or limit that possible spread.
Check us out, Vaugiotto.com. That's VAUGIOTTO.com. Check it out for the latest videos, merch, all the socials. We got Insta, we got Twitter. Check them out, throw a follow, subscribe if you can. We appreciate the love. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you to our very special guest, Justin. You know, it's always a pleasure. Family. And have a Vaugiotto day. We'll see you again soon. Peace.
Peace.